Hello, everybody, and welcome to the May 2023 Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Oh, I almost got it wrong. I didn't, but I almost did, and then I messed up. That's like passing on because we're gonna talk about something that's changed. Obviously, everyone can tell. So right. So as you can tell, we already have a little bit of a different look here. Pantheon Rise of the Fallen May live dev stream. We're excited to share some news with the community actually around that. So to share that news, first, let me welcome my new co-host. It's hard to say your full name because I just know you as Sav. I just know you as Sav. Like, you're going to be Sav for me. Is that all right?
Most people call me Sav. If Savanya is my actual handle, or you can call me Jamie Henry, but I almost never respond to that.
We'll just go Sav. I think Sav's a good way to go. So why don't you tell people a little bit about what's going on?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me. I am super excited to be here, see everybody, and get to work with you, Minus. There have been some big changes. Some of the community already knows about those changes. Some of you may not. I'm here instead of David, obviously. So do you want to talk about that, Minus?
You can go ahead. You're like the community manager, right? So like now I can be like, let's go over to Sav for the community. Like I can like throw it to you.
So our longtime host, David Ronick Schlau, rest in peace.
It starts so dark.
Has actually shifted departments at VR, and he is now a full-fledged developer. He has left us at MPR. He went over there to help with quest design and will be lending his writing skills, which are pretty stellar, for designing and scripting. So you know more about his background than I do, Minus.
Yeah, and that's obviously why this beautiful head of hair is here tonight. We're paying homage to David's hair, which we're losing on this stream. And Sav, that's not anything wrong with your hair. You bring beautiful hair to the stream as well. I just want to make sure you know that.
I try.
Yeah, so tonight, this is my homage this is the most David I can be. But for those that don't know, David has actually received awards. Our VIP community knows because we actually talked about it on our Bring Out Your Devs. But he's actually had rewards for multiple scripts and screenplays through his time as a writer. So he's really good at it. And I think this is going to add a lot of excitement to the in-game quests and dialogue systems. And honestly, as someone who's worked beside David for quite a while, I'm really proud of him and really excited for the opportunity he's going to provide. So, but now I'm with you, or you're with me. How's that work?
I was going to say you're stuck with me, but I think it's more the other way around. I'm stuck with you.
That's what the community usually seems to think. And since you do have the power of community in your hand, I'm sure that's the way this will all be done. So, yeah.
You guys love me, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I welcome this new challenge of Savage being next to me. Jokes aside, it will be. Jokes aside, David will definitely be missed. And to you, buddy, I'll always remember the time on streams that we've had together, laughing with the community, sharing updates, and even before I got here, all the hard work and torchbearing you did for driving these streams. And I know we'll do our best to do you proud. So that said, Sav, honestly, I couldn't think of a better person to step in and keep us going in the right direction. You and I work together quite a bit. So now people are going to get to actually see that on stream. But I think this is definitely enough about David. We've said enough nice things about David. So do you want to sort of set the stage as to what the community can expect for today's stream?
Yes, of course. We wouldn't want David to get a big head or anything. So last month we reviewed the Dire Lord Refresh. A lot of work has been done there. A lot of work has been done on the class. A lot of the classes, Joppa has been tearing through those like a monster. So today's theme is going to be our second highlighted class, which is going to be focused on the Shaman. And so we will take a look at that, the first 10 levels mostly, and see what's been going on there. But before we get to that, let's have a look at behind the scenes at VR.
Sounds good.
Behind the scenes at VR.
We still have David's voice on the bumper. All right, Sab. So with that said, why don't you start us off in talking a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes?
What is going on behind the scenes?
You're good. You want me to jump on that? I can. I'm happy to do it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
let me. I feel like I didn't want to speak for you too much. So first of all, yesterday we had an ad hoc session. For those that joined us on our last stream, we talked about how last month we did a few different ad hoc sessions. I think we actually had our testers in the world, 3 times last month? 2 different ad hoc tests as well as the pre-alpha test. And this month we just had an ad hoc test yesterday. So it's about a 9-hour test to test some various different things that we kind of implemented, some different changes to the classes like we've been talking about, things like that. Ad hoc sessions, for those that don't know, it's not like a super in advance thing. Sometimes they're quick, short notice. It's things we want to test before we have like our full testing sessions. But what we were going to do is, Sav, if you want to go through like some of the things that we tested for the first time yesterday in those ad hoc sessions.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, when we do ad hoc sessions, our testing is real testing. Like when we want to bring testers in, it's because we actually need these features tested. And so feedback is super important, and it's not always going to go smoothly. But in this session, we were looking a lot at some crafting. We have tons of crafting changes going in game, and specifically we were looking at weapon and armor crafting. We got some great information there. A lot of optimization is going to be happening over time, so we can make weapon and armor that is crafted viable in game. We also introduced an encumbrance system. So there will be movement bonuses and penalties depending on how much weight you carry, and various bag sizes and types that will kind of work along with that. And that is just also another important aspect of the game that lets us know that we are in a world that, has
Things
rules.
matters. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing, I'll jump in quick on that too, because I just sense it. I know the community is going to be like, wait, encumbrance, wait. Coins are not going to weigh anything right now. In current testing and current implementation, coins will not. So for those of you having nightmares about carrying a bunch of copper around, that part of it's okay. And I think what's cool about this system is that these bags will increase something but may decrease something. So depending on what you're looking to do out in the world, you'll actually have some options on how you carry your bags around and what you want to sacrifice if you're going to carry a lot of things versus, what you might gain. So it's kind of it's a cool system. It's not just you have weight and you're slow. Like that's not the only thing about this. So that's exciting to kind of dig into for the first time.
More complicated than that. Yeah. And it's just gives you another aspect of gameplay, just another thing that you really need to think about while you're out there playing. And they also did some updates to the Monk Enchanter. They were pretty minor updates because these classes have been worked on a lot, but they got some love too, and we'll definitely be taking a look at those classes here in the future. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, I think kind of looking back at these main key items. Obviously, we were testing performance changes, and there's some things under the hood we're working on. In general, the weapon creating was really cool. We saw people generating all kinds of different weapon types that, using different items and different pieces and putting them together in different ways was able to create weapons that had different stat bonuses. So it was fun to sort of go through and watch players sort of interact and start to like document these things like, oh, if I do this, it adds 1 stamina. If I do this, it adds, I think one had like frigid resistance. So like there's anything from your base stats all the way up to some of the climate system stuff and It's pretty neat. And, we learned a lot from that, I think. There was a lot of good, and we got some bugs already hammered out, which I'm pretty excited about. But Jamie, I think the big thing, so from looking at encumbrance and doing the test, we did the ad hoc, we were doing it in preparation for this weekend, but I think you have some news on a lot of the feedback and a lot of the things we learned from yesterday. So I'm going to hand that over to you to talk about, because I think you're more the expert on this part.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we are postponing this weekend's scheduled test, and we are doing that because we have a few things that we need to get hammered out before we want to invite everybody back in for a full 24-hour test. Instead, we will be running another ad hoc test tomorrow to see if we have some of the optimization that we hope we needed to get dealt with. We don't know until we get large amounts of people in. That's just the way that is. Our QA team can only do so much.
Yeah, well, you talked about it too, is that these are real tests, especially these ad hocs. And it's not saying the weekend ones aren't. Like the 24-hour tests are huge. So the big thing is that when we do a 24-hour test, we want to make sure everybody can really enjoy that 24 hours. And there were a few things that we found that we were able to dial in, and in those ad hoc tests really got, for example, Kyle, one of the people who really benefited from yesterday's ad hoc test, was learning about some of the performance enhancements that we can dial in a little bit. And he was able to literally look at the data and kind of make changes on the fly on the development side and start to already push some of that stuff onto our dev servers. Obviously, we weren't going to push it onto the testing server for the time that would take and testing it, because we want to run it first before we put it onto a live production server. But it was really cool because while there was some different things we discovered we need to dial in, the data was really good. So ad hoc testers did a phenomenal job. We're going to get everybody back in for testing, like Sav said, tomorrow. And then that should give us the ability to really make sure those dials and stuff that we turned and the little enhancements and things we did, make sure those are ready, so that when we do have the test, not this weekend, but next weekend, it'll be an enjoyable experience for everybody. So I think it works out pretty well.
It works out great. So everybody can expect a scheduled test for May 20th and the 21st. And hopefully everything will be all smoothed out and ready to go for you guys. We will definitely keep you posted on information as any of that comes up. But this does free up, a very important point, free up Mother's Day weekend.
The moms of the community should be thrilled. I mean, so now...
There are no excuses.
Yeah, so moms, you get to spend all day Sunday. Everybody in your household will attend to all your needs. The entire Pantheon community mothers should be taken care of this weekend. That's what I hope happens. And that's the real importance here, right?
Right. Although, as a mother, I would like to say, I would have liked to have had the test weekend more, but I'll take pampering. Whatever. If I have to.
So the biggest thing I just want to make sure is the shout out to our testers. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you for also, I know the hard work that'll happen tomorrow when everybody's in. These are the things that really help us. And with testing being so much more prevalent now and so much more often, it's just helping us progress things incredibly. So thank you to everybody. We're looking forward to the next full 24-hour test for sure. So let's see here. Sav, you're the community manager. You should be, I guess, the one giving the shout outs to all these people for thanking them for this, right? And I'm sitting here stealing your thunder.
I love our community. I think that of all the communities that I have worked with, this is by far the best community. I have been blown away on a regular basis at how dedicated our testers are and how fun and knowledgeable all our members are. It's been unbelievable. The people that continuously support our game, the people that share information, the people that follow us, you guys here that watch our silly banter, because I know that we're not that interesting.
So here's
absolutely the best.
Yeah, 100%, guys. Whether it's sharing, being on our forums, on our Discord, sharing videos to friends and family, all that stuff helps us incredibly. So please take some time to check out our content, check out our social media, share it out. And for those of you that want to help development further, pantheon.mmo.com/pledge. See if there's any tier that suits you. That is what helps us continue on. And again, I just want to say thank you for that. So the other thing that I do have to bring up, so they're making fun of me for another mispronunciation. So growing up, I always said stamina instead of stamina. See, I even have a hard time saying it correctly. I know how to say it correctly, but growing up, I always said it wrong. So everybody picked up on that right away. It's funny though, because remember when we were making the video we're about to show, Ben made fun of me for saying it wrong too. So yeah, I don't know. It's just when I was a kid, I just, for some reason said it wrong. I don't know. It's stuck with me.
That's hilarious, but also shame on you guys.
Well, no, it's fine. Cause it's funny. In short, I'll say stam, right? That makes sense. Stam. But for some reason, when I say it,
does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know. It's really strange. There's just weird things that happen in my head. Maybe that's why David's not here anymore. Let's be honest.
Yeah. This is what I got to work with, guys.
That's what happens when I have a full head of hair. Okay, so without further ado, our Shaman fans have been waiting long enough.
We Shaman fans, yes, we have a few of those. You guys know who you are.
We're calling them out directly. You know.
Yeah, you know who you are. But yeah, let's talk about the Shaman.
All right, let's get it done. Hello, everyone. This month, in continuation of our class refresh series, which began with the Dire Lord last month, we will take a look at the level 1 through 10 experiences for one of Pantheon's healing classes, the Shaman. As stated last month, some pieces may be familiar to those who have followed the game closely, but due to feedback from our QA team and our amazing testers, the Shaman has really been fine-tuned over the last few testing sessions, and those who favor Shaman as their class of choice have shared very positive feedback. So let's jump right in to the Shaman. To begin with, the Shaman's main resource will be mana. A freshly started Shaman will begin with 2 opening abilities at level 1, a direct damage spell and a signature heal. Let's start with Fang of Harun. This is a nature-based ability costing 6 mana with a 2-second cast. It deals minor nature damage to the target, and does 50% more damage if an Animus Bane is active on the target. The next ability, as discussed, is the signature heal Mantle of Mist. This is a water boon, costing 6 mana with a 1.5 second cast. It casts a soothing mist over your target, restoring 22 to 27 health, and granting them Mantle of the Mist, which restores 27 health every 2.5 seconds for 30 seconds. A solo Shaman will feel very comfortable in the early leveling experience knowing they have the ability to heal, but with lower starting mana, it will be important to not overuse it. Otherwise, you could see downtime to get your mana back. Casting intelligently and preparing before running to fight should make it a rather enjoyable and safe experience early on. At level 2, the Shaman receives a nice buff that will work on the entire party called Grip of Shale. This ability will take 8 mana and 2 seconds to cast. It imbues your group with the Fortitude of Stone, increasing strength and stamina for 45 minutes.
Now, for those of you that don't know, strength will affect attack power, which affects all physical damage, whether melee or ranged. Stamina will contribute to total health as a main focus, but will also impact potential interruptions to casters.
At level 3, the Shaman will receive their first damage over time spell, Strike of the Snake. This will cost 4 mana, has a 1.5 second cast, and deals minor poison damage and poisons the target, dealing poison damage every 2 seconds for up to 24 seconds. At this point, a Shaman player will be able to buff party members, heal, and deliver both damage over time and direct damage to enemies they cross. Let's move on to level 4, where the Shaman gains 2 abilities, one to assist the party and one to debuff their targets. Let's start with Cleansing Flame. This costs 4 mana, has a 1.5 second cast, and will cleanse the target of 1 harmful poison effect. Next up is Headwinds. Headwinds will cost 5 mana with a 1.5 second cast time, and this will assail the target with gusts of wind, reducing their accuracy by 10% for up to 1 minute. This also puts the target in a wind-swept state.
At level 5, the Shaman receives a second group buff, as well as a second debuff. First up, Mark of the Fireclaw. This ability will cost 20 mana with a 2-second cast. It will imbue your group with the ancestral power of the Fireclaw, increasing dexterity by 4 and fire resistance by 5 while active. Dexterity will improve a player's accuracy with outgoing melee, ranged, and caster attacks, as well as having an influence on critical hits. Now, with 3 primary stat buffs, the Shaman can really impact the overall power of a group. Not to stop there, they also receive Withering. This is a 10 mana cost ability and will take 2 seconds to cast. This will decrease the target's armor class by 15% for up to 5 minutes. So even by level 5, the Shaman will not only increase the group overall power, but between accuracy and armor class debuffs to the enemies they face, groups can already feel the strength of having a Shaman with them, at only level 5. At level 6, the Shaman receives 2 more abilities, a new powerful heal, and an additional damage over time spell. Let's start with Crown of Ashes. This ability costs 6 mana and casts in a 1.5 second cast time. This is a fire ability which deals fire damage and burns the target, dealing fire damage every 2 seconds for 24 seconds. An important note is that the burn effect cannot be resisted. With both a burn and a poison damage over time spell, a Shaman can not only be the main healer in a low-level group, but can also begin to output a strong amount of support damage to help the group whittle down enemies. However, not to lose focus on their core role in the group, the Shaman receives Replenish. Replenish is an expensive heal costing 20 mana with a 1 second cast time. This invigorates your target with healing waters, restoring 31 health every second for 10 seconds. It is also important to note that this effect stacks 2 times. This is a powerful heal even at a lower level, which not only has a fast cast time, but can actually stack while healing every second. It is a powerful spell for important healing moments, but players must be sure to watch how it's used as it has a much higher cost than the Mantle series of heals. At level 7, the Shaman will continue to weaken their enemies they face head-on, this time with Shackle of Mud. This ability will cost 5 mana with a 2-second cast. It decreases the target's strength and agility by 3 for up to 5 minutes. It was noted earlier that strength will impact damage output of abilities, but this spell also lowers agility, which affects the ability to dodge and/or parry incoming attacks. A Shaman heavily focused on debuffs, even at this early stage, can really weaken a target enemy with the tools at their disposal. Level 8 will present the first spell upgrade in the Shaman's growth. This is in the form of Mantle of the Stream, an upgrade to the previous Mantle series spell, Mantle of Mist. Mantle of the Stream will cost 12 mana, has a 1.5 second cast time, but will increase healing between 26 and 32 instantly, while also healing 32 health every 2.5 seconds for 30 seconds. With the upgrade to their signature healing ability, another signature and important ability falls into the Shaman's spellbook in Paradox. Paradox costs 50 mana with a 6-second cast, and it reunites an ally with their remnants, restoring them at 20% of their maximum health. Allies resurrected in this manner will be affected with Resurrection Sickness, reducing all attributes by 50% for 5 minutes. Shaman, get ready for the incoming whispers for players asking for a res, as you return them to their bodies and enable them to reclaim their remnants. Level 9 brings with it a single ability, another upgrade this time in their Fang ability line with Fang of Sauji. Fang of Sauji costs 6 mana, has a 2-second cast, and deals minor damage to the target, an improvement over the previous Fang series spell. Finally, we hit level 10, and we are granted 3 different abilities, all of which will have strong impact to the Shaman's toolkit. First, let's look at Primordial Curse. Primordial Curse costs 6 mana and has a 2-second cast time. This is the ability school of Curse. It manifests ancestral weakness in the target, decreasing magic, fire, and cold resistance by 4 for 5 minutes. The debuffing does not stop there, however, as the next ability, Scorched Fog, continues to cripple your foes. This ability costs 15 mana with a 2-second cast, and is of the ability school of Fire. This slows an enemy, decreasing their attack speed by 12% for up to 5 minutes. It's important to note that the attack speed reduction can be increased with intellect and constitution. To finish up the level 1 through 10 toolkit of the Shaman, players will receive Windstrider, a signature ability and another reason a Shaman will be very popular among players of the World of Terminus. Windstrider costs 12 mana and has a 2-second cast time. Accelerate your target's sprinting speed by 20 and reduce the rate of endurance drain by 40% for 45 minutes. We hope that you've enjoyed this refresh of Pantheon Shaman. If you missed last month's refresh on the Dire Lord, you can find that on our YouTube channel to watch at your leisure. With 5 more classes to go, look forward to another class refresh next month.
All right. Well, there you go. I have to say that I really actually enjoyed digging into this class. It was a good time. I think what's been most encouraging, though, is obviously anyone who watches these knows I'm not a shaman. I'm a rogue, right? Pretty far difference. People know that my healing class is probably cleric if I want to heal. But as you said, there are some very dedicated shaman players in our testing community who have been voicing some thoughts for quite some time. And after a lot of these changes, they have been very vocal positively about what the shaman class feels like right now. So they just seem, I don't know, happy.
Yeah, again, I won't name any names, but we do have some very dedicated shaman players who were reasonably happy with the updates to the shaman, and overall, it's been received really well from the testers, and it's always great to hear when you get to that sweet spot where you want a class to be and people are just like, yes, this is where we want it. But you really spent some time on the shaman. What did you think, Linus?
Yeah, so I think that's one of the really fun parts about making these content pieces. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun getting in there and really, really digging in and playing a lot. And I just want to be sure that everyone knows, it's nowhere near what our testers do. Our QA testers just do so much work to get it to this state where I can really dig into it. I think the biggest piece is that this class felt really amazing, even at low levels. And I think that's cool because you start to feel like a shaman very early on. Like you get a feeling of what this class should be. I mean, by level 5, you have so much going on. Even in that video, you have debuffs, you have healing over time, you have party buffs. Like you just start to really feel like even solo, like you have all these tools at your disposal. And I think that although its role as a main healer is the goal, right? Like our classes are going to have a main role, and that's going to be what they mostly function on. And they're really good at it. Obviously, you'll have this extra mana, right? Like, so if you're healing, what do I use it on? Do I want to debuff in the group? Is there another healer that can support? Where am I going to spend my extra mana in a group? I like those choices and those decisions because you may not be able to spend all your mana on, debuffing, damage over time and healing. You might say, well, I'm going to add damage with damage over time and I'm going to heal, or vice versa, like whatever ones you're going to use. So I just really like that. Since Pantheon's a very highly social game, like even in the 1 to 10 experience, I think a shaman's going to be very popular. People looking for buffs, looking for reses, Mark of the Fireclaw and Grip of Shale are really impactful. And in our testing, I think our testers would say that as well, like running by asking shaman for buffs. So it's pretty cool to get those buffs. And then, come on, Windstrider. The Windstrider is, who doesn't want Windstrider? If anybody played a lot of the old school MMORPGs, like we'll say Spirit of the Wolf, we'll just throw it out there. It was a need. So something like Windstrider, I just know that, listen, if you're smart, you might be able to make some money out there.
Yeah, I actually played a shaman in EverQuest 1, and I will tell you, it's the quickest way to make friends.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But the Paradox Resurrection, though, that's if you have somebody near you that can resurrect, that's golden.
Well, someone was saying useful. Paradox is kind of I need a paradox. It's easy. Looking for docs. right? Like that's perfect. The DOX. Need a docs.
Love it.
Let's get that going. So you and I have talked a lot about it as we made content for this and getting you prepared for your first stream. You know, you had access to the video. You gave a lot of good feedback on it. You've played around with the different classes during testing and stuff. So far, what are your thoughts? I mean, you asked mine. What are some of your thoughts on the Shaman?
So I'm not, and I saw a little of this in chat over here. I'm not going to say that the Shaman is OP. It's a little too early to say that, just because it's still going to get a little bit of tinkering. The Shaman is quite powerful. And you need to know how it's going to work with the other classes once the other classes get to their point of being optimized. So the Shaman does come off as a little OP right now, but I think that in the end, it's going to even out and work exactly how it is supposed to. And I love that it is a completely different flavor from the cleric. It does not heal the same way. As a monk myself, when I'm off tanking, or on the rare occasion when I main tank, having a healer that heals over time is just more helpful for me, because if I take huge hits and all I have available to me are, direct heals, I could be dead by the time a cleric gets one off. So it's going to heavily depend on play style, and I like that our classes take that into account.
Yeah, they definitely feel different, right? Like and that's the goal. We don't want a Shaman to feel like a cleric or a druid, any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, kind of getting ahead of ourselves here, but we're going to be talking about the healers in more depth next week on Parting the Veil. So for those that aren't aware, we're going to be breaking down how each class heals, like what the theory behind them is. We're going to be, we just had someone in chat yell out Druid. People are looking for Druid info. And I will tell you right now, he won't mind me saying this. When I talked to Joppa about this upcoming Parting the Veil, I said, listen, are you ready to talk about this Druid? Because this is what people want to hear. And he said, let's go. So get some hype. We're going to be talking a lot about...
Oh, you lucky ducks.
Yep. So we're going to be talking a lot about how the Druid's going to play into this healing trilogy, we'll call it. I don't know, of classes that we have. So that's pretty cool. So
yeah, that's going to be exciting. It's going to be really great to finally get some information about, especially healing classes that we have heard a little bit less about.
Yep. So just keep in mind too, I think you said it earlier, Sav, we're going to be refreshing these classes across our live stream. So we're going to have more to come. If you haven't seen it, we did Dire Lord last week, and Sav, you're actually in charge of getting our website updated. So last week we had the Dire Lord update come out, and you updated the Dire Lord webpage. I assume when can people see the new Shaman page?
The new Shaman page will be up on Tuesday, and you guys will be able to see the new information there. And that is specifically important because we want you guys to be able to share that information with your friends and other players that might be interested in the game. You can link them these classes and say, hey, you might want to take a look at it. And it is new, current, and relevant information, which is super important. So, and you'll be able to watch the video on the Shaman and the Dire Lord as much as you want. And all of those pages are all incoming, so we are working on them.
Yep. Yeah, it's exciting to kind of go through these and know that we have this wealth of information to talk about over the next few months. And yeah, I say it all the time, Sav, I'm super into classes, so it's my thing.
It is, yes. You get very excited. You guys have no idea how much time this guy spends actually playing these classes to get all this information. He's gonna be an expert by the time he's done with this. We won't even need Joppa.
Yeah,
fire me.
Listen, the community's already against me. You put me against Joppa, we're in trouble. I'm with Joppa. I'm Joppa, team Joppa. Anyway, what about some? Do you want me to drop? I got some beans. You want me to drop a couple beans?
Yes. Oh, wait. Do you guys want beans? You guys don't want beans.
A couple beans. So first,
I guess
we're ready to talk about what class is going to be next month. Now, this one's going to be a struggle for me. So next month we'll be doing the rogue class.
Yes. It'll be very hard.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the updated rogue class, and for those that don't know, there's been a lot of good changes to rogue. Backstab is back. That's something we've talked about for a while. Backstab is back. So so we'll be talking about the rogue next month on the stream. I have another bean. So, and we've talked about this a little bit, so I'm putting you on the spot. I'm like, you don't even know what I'm about to say. This is so good. This is like why I love having streams. Yeah.
I'm looking at my papers and I'm like,
there's not another bean.
What?
There's not another bean. So obviously, for those that don't know, Sav actually puts out a lot of our articles now. Where I used to do it, she works either with me or she'll do the articles. So one of the things she's been doing is the PA recaps, and those have been going over really well. You can find those on our web pages. So if you're not a tester or you missed a testing session or you just wanted to read about what happened, she'll do a really cool recap. But since we moved the recap or the PA test a month, as we talked about a week. Everyone just panicked. Since we moved it back a week and we're going to do the ad hoc session tomorrow, that means that we won't have the PA recap next Tuesday like we normally would. But this will be exciting, right? So we have something we can put in its place. Right, Sav? So, yeah, now you know.
Oh, you guys are going to be so excited. Yeah. This is a good one.
So next Tuesday, we will have a new lore piece from J.N. Gerhardt. And this is cool because this is not just a cool new little lore piece. It's part one in a story. And we're going to have a little bit more coming over the next few months. So really excited for that. It's a really cool one. So make sure to check out the website next Tuesday. That'll be out probably morning, afternoonish. But so we'll have that extra little piece there to hold everybody over until we get that recap the next week. And then obviously the newsletter. So really excited for that lore piece coming out. And again, it's not just, this will be part one. So there's more to come. So the community like that, Sav. They like that.
I love his lore. Oh, he's so good. He's so good.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be great, guys.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the stream. Sav, I hope you enjoyed your first stream. How'd it feel? Was it okay?
Yeah, it was all right. I don't know if I can get used to the hair. You might have to lose the hair for next time.
We'll just go off right now. There we go. David, we miss you, but we won't have your hair, and we also won't have you here anymore. But maybe, see, here's one last thing I'm going to say. With David going over to the design team, he owes us now. We got to get beans from David, right? So.
Oh, you guys should hassle him mercilessly.
Yeah.
Also, it means that eventually we'll be able to interview him, and we know his soft spots. So, and we're not afraid to exploit.
We're not, especially because he, like I said, he owes us. So, Sav, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited to be doing these with you moving forward. And thank you to the community. You guys were awesome tonight in chat. Thanks for supporting us as always. Once again, we are a crowdfunded game, so thank you for all the sharing and love that everybody gives. It helps us a lot. Our community is what keeps us going strong. And now the community manager's here, so you guys can hit her up in all the chats now in all these videos, which would be good. So
you can. You actually, when people do hit me up, I respond back. I'm here for you guys.
All right. Well, everybody have a fantastic night. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you, Seth.
Thank you, Minus. Love you guys.